Okay, hello. This is session 3 of Success for Distance Learning. You can pull up the slideshow by accessing this bit.ly code, just typing this HTTPS and the bit.ly code into your browser. My name is Erica Smith. I am a program specialist with Cajon Valley School District, and I work on teacher trainings and the development of the SEL curriculum, which is basically teaching our kiddos everything they need to know aside from academics to be successful in the classroom and in life.
And I'm Shauna. I'm also a program specialist in the district, and I have a background in special ed with a focus on behavioral support. So I help schools implement positive relationship building to support student success, and I focus on participation and engagement for students and families.
So today we're going to be sticking to a script. So if it looks like we are reading, we are, to make it easy to translate. We're going to try to stick to the script.
Stick to the script. Okay, so we are going to be wrapping up with session 3. This will focus on the 2 concepts of consistency and growth mindset. So we're starting with the question, what now? Just a quick review of sessions 1 and 2. We have the notes for session 1 on the left. The first thing we started out with was what's going on with my kid. So we went over 3 big ideas. The first would be expect that your child will question rules that they don't understand. And so we want everyone to remember, just discuss the impact. So stop and think, what rule is my child not accepting? How does this impact themselves or me or the family? And what do we need to talk about to get an agreement? Because I said so may cause your child to comply with the rules in the moment, but it usually won't help change the behavior in the future. Taking time to talk about the reason for the rule and the impact following the rules have on the family teaches your child that they can learn to self-manage. We want our children to know what to do even when we're not around. So the next thing we want you to think about is, what task is your child likely to complete independently and successfully? So we want you to start with small successes. What task is, so just think about setting that up. And the last one would be, expect that mistakes are part of the process. Think about how you can use those mistakes as opportunities to grow and build trust. Be the thermostat, not thermometer. A thermometer, if you remember from session 2, it measures the temperature. When a parent is the thermometer, they're reacting the same way a thermometer reacts to a fever. The higher the fever, the higher the thermometer goes. When the adult stays calm, it teaches the child that the situation is under control and that every challenge can be managed. A thermostat controls the temperature. No matter how hot it might get outside, the thermostat controls how to keep it cool inside. And then session 2, we covered, how do I help my child thrive? And the things we wanted you to keep in mind would be clear expectations, agree to a plan, choose a strategy, and stay consistent.
Okay, so staying consistent. Learning occurs over time. It's a process. We talked about getting a speeding ticket in session 2. The consequence for speeding tickets are very big, but it's not consistent. We do not pay a high price for speeding every time we speed. We get the big consequence, pay the big fee, and then say we'll never speed again. And this only happens once in a while. But most of us speed again. If we were given a $5 ticket every time we were to speed, we would stop speeding. It's not the size of the consequence, it's the consistency. There are many things that can prevent us from being consistent. Sometimes we're too busy to enforce the rules. Sometimes we respond to our kids' emotions by giving in and not following through. This might seem small in the short term, but it reinforces arguing and negotiations when you're not consistent. When our kids know what to expect, they develop trust. Sticking to the plan teaches them that there are reasons for your rules, they can trust what you say, and it provides them a sense of safety.
Next slide. So when kids know what to do and how to do it, they feel confident and safe. A clear if-then plan helps kids to understand that actions have consequences, both positive and negative. So if you complete your math assignment, then we will take a 10-minute break to play a game. If you clean your room, then we will watch a TV show. If you finish your playlist and your chores, then you can have access to your electronic device. If you read for an hour, then you earn an hour of game time. The if-then plan allows kids to develop the skill of working for what they want. First work, then play. This is going to require that you set up a system in your house where the kids are required to earn access to all their preferred activities. Remember, after you've agreed to the plan and you've set the reward, the child gains access after the expectation is met. And you want to make sure that you're starting small and staying consistent. Too often nowadays, praise is given to students who put forth effort but not learning. In order to make them feel good in the moment, we say things like, great effort, you tried your best. Well, it's good that students tried, but it's not good that they're not learning. Growth mindset is an approach that helps children feel good in the short term and the long term by helping them thrive on challenges and setbacks on their way to learning. When they're stuck, we can appreciate their work so far, but we can add, let's talk about what you've tried and what you can try next. So these statements help turn negative thoughts into positive thoughts. So if you take a look at the graph on the side here, it helps turn a problem that can seem frustrating into a manageable challenge. A growth mindset occurs when we believe our intelligence and abilities can be improved upon with the right effort and the right strategies. In contrast, those with a fixed mindset believe their intelligence and abilities cannot be changed. So think about it like this. This math is really hard. I need to ask for help or find another way to work this out. Versus, I'm terrible at math, this is too hard, I give up. So help your child start to replace negative self-talk with growth mindset statements. Think about it this way. When kids know their brains are capable of growing and changing, they're more confident, they're more resilient, and they're not afraid to fail. When adults and kids expect failing and mistakes as part of their process in learning, shame is removed and confidence can rise.
Okay, so how about we watch the video first and then...
Video time.
Not so long ago,
Play again.
many scientists believed that the brain did not change after childhood, that it was hardwired and fixed by the time we became adults. But recent advances in only the last decade now tell us that this is simply not true. The brain can and does change throughout our lives. It is adaptable, like plastic, hence neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity. How does neuroplasticity work? If you think of your brain as a dynamic, connected power grid, there are billions of pathways or roads lighting up every time you think, feel, or do something. Some of these roads are well-traveled. These are our habits, our established ways of thinking, feeling, and doing. Every time we think in a certain way, practice a particular task, or feel a specific emotion, we strengthen this road. It becomes easier for our brains to travel this pathway. Say we think about something differently, learn a new task, or choose a different emotion. We start carving out a new road. If we keep traveling that road, our brains begin to use this pathway more, and this new way of thinking, feeling, or doing becomes second nature. The old pathway gets used less and less and weakens. This process of rewiring your brain by forming new connections and weakening old ones is neuroplasticity in action. The good news is that we all have the ability to learn and change by rewiring our brains. If you have ever changed a bad habit or thought about something differently, you have carved a new pathway in your brain and experienced neuroplasticity firsthand. With repeated and directed attention towards your desired change, you can rewire your brain.
Okay, so our brains learn throughout our whole lives, like changing a bad habit to a new and better habit. Your brain has the ability to change no matter what your age is. It takes 21 days to form a new habit or rewire your brain. One of the most important things to remember about learning is that it's a process and it happens over time. Just like walking, learning how to manage our emotions, learning how to push through challenging tasks, and learning how to stay focused are skills that take time to develop. Meet your student where they're at. Remember, behavioral momentum is a wonderful strategy. Allow your students to do as much as they can do easily, and then add to that in small amounts. This will keep them motivated. Expect setbacks and mistakes and have a plan about how you'll respond to those setbacks and mistakes. If you can stay on your student's side as an encourager, they'll be more likely to try challenging tasks in the future. If you can say you did really well, and what do you think you will do next time so that you can go a little further? That will be a lot more encouraging than if we're pointing out only where they went wrong.
So the last thing we want to share with you today, one of the last things, is going to be what we call a roadmap. So whenever you plan a trip or something, it's often with the idea that you're going to plan out where you're starting and where you're going to get to. And so this roadmap begins at the top where it says start here. And it moves through a way to outline the skills that we're teaching to students that help them manage their emotional responses, navigate social situations, and explore their values and behaviors. And as parents, we can use these lessons to target specific areas where you think your child needs support. There are 18 well-being lessons, which could be used as maybe 2 per week, and it takes about 20 minutes to get through each one. And the links are all here. The last thing we'd like you to explore would be some of the frequently asked questions that we got during the last few sessions. We put them into a document and we listed them according to their behaviors, and then we gave some responses that are directly from our slides. So perhaps this will help you sort of identify some of the challenges you're having in your own home, and then maybe look back at some of our previous sessions to look at some of these strategies that we offered. And you want to finish up with the last one?
Sure. If you have any questions specific to your situation, please feel free to email either Shauna or me, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you so much for joining us, and reach out.